Hello, my name is Brandon Klontz and I'm a licensed piercer in the state of Oklahoma. Today I'm going to talk to you about appropriate oral piercing aftercare. Now there are 5 main big rules that we need to discuss whenever we get an oral piercing. The first one is going to be swishing. Your second one is swelling and how to control it. Number 3 is, of course, dietary restrictions. And for any adults in the room, we're going to be talking about smoking and alcohol consumption as well. When selecting an appropriate mouthwash for an oral piercing, it is very important that we look for an alcohol-free. Brand is unimportant, but zero alcohol or alcohol-free is very important to the healing of your piercing. Your standard mouthwash is, believe it or not, 20% alcohol. And when we compare this to liquor in a store, it's literally 40 proof. That makes it half as potent as your standard cheap whiskeys, okay? It does not know the difference between bacteria and healthy skin cells. It just indiscriminately kills them all. So, alcohol-free is absolutely key to healing a good mouth piercing, okay? Now, you're going to swish every single meal, every single beverage without fail. When we say meals, we do include snacks in this. So if you're just going to grab that little thing of crackers off your counter and you're running out to the car, well, you're swishing in the car. And then I hope you're parked next to someone you hate when it's time to spit. Now, when it comes to beverages, every single beverage, I mean bottle, can, cup, okay? We're not talking about every single sip here, every bottle, can, or cup. Finish your drink, then swish. Now, with all mouth piercings, you need to expect some swelling. The best thing you can do to control that, though, is going to be get it cold and keep it cold. You can have an unlimited amount of, you guessed it, ice water and never have to swish afterwards. So go to town on it. Ice water and ice chips like mad. Now, the best part about getting a fresh mouth piercing, though, is you also get to just go crazy on all these snow cones, icy, slurpees, slushies, water-based popsicles. Have fun with all of that. Swish in between every single one of them. But you can have an unlimited amount of that ice water and never have to swish, okay? And it will make a big difference to the swelling and the healing of your piercing. Now, if you're anything like me, you've got a big cup that you keep full of ice water on your nightstand already. But if you don't, you're going to want to do that, because there's few things in this world that are worse than waking up in the middle of the night with that big fat swollen tongue or lip and feeling the hot breath. So you keep that on your nightstand ready to go, and 5 minutes later when you wake up with that fat tongue or lip, that'll make all the difference in the world to getting you back to sleep. Now, we'll also recommend anti-inflammatories, ibuprofen or Motrin. Always use as directed on the bottle. I highly recommend them just before bedtime, but you can also take them throughout the day, and I'd recommend rotating them. Motrin, then ibuprofen, back and forth. This way you get maximum effect out of the medication. As far as dietary restrictions are concerned, you are dairy-free for 5 days. I know I just broke all you coffee drinkers' hearts, but you can still have it black. But this means, seriously, no milk, no cheese, no yogurt, no cream, no sour cream, none of it. No ice cream, can't have it. Sorry, 5 days you were dairy-free. We are trying to prevent bacterial infections such as thrush, okay? On day 6, though, go have a cheeseburger and a bowl of ice cream. I don't care anymore. Let's talk about drinking now. So, beer, that's begging for a yeast infection in your mouth. Wine, that's just begging for any number of infections based on the fruit and fermentation process. Hard liquor. Well, if you'll remember, we were talking about alcohol in mouthwash earlier. If 20% is too harsh and going to kill those upper layers of skin cells, you can bet that 40% in a cheap whiskey or vodka or any other alcoholic beverage is going to far exceed that. So that's just killing all your upper layers of skin cells that are trying to heal. It is slowing your healing process. It is stopping your healing process. And if you're drinking enough, it could be causing very serious damage to the piercing and causing it to waller out. So, number one recommendation here is don't drink for 4 months. You heard me. I didn't say days or weeks. I said months. Smoking. Ideally, you'll quit for a minimum of 4 months. But let's face facts, you're not going to do that. You're addicted to nicotine, this illicit substance, or vaping, whichever. All of them are going to fall under the same category. The way we treat these is we treat them all like a cigarette, because the facts are this. Illicit substances, we don't have research because it's been illegal to research. Vaping, we don't have research because we haven't had enough time to research. Cigarettes, we know exactly what to expect with nicotine. So, you will swish every single time without fail. You drop that butt, you stomp on it, you pull that bottle of mouthwash out of your pocket, and you are swishing right then, right there. And for those of you that do smoke, I highly, highly recommend a pocket-sized bottle that you can keep on your person. Because I cannot stress this enough, swish every single time without fail. If you don't, what I expect is from the time you failed, 3 to 4 weeks later, your piercing will be swollen 3 to 4 times its normal size. It will be as blood red as the top of this bottle. It will be oozing a nasty, milky, green-colored substance. And FYI, that is not a pleasant taste. Swish. Can't stress that enough. With those 5 basic rules outlined, we want you to continue swishing and keeping the piercing cold for a minimum of 2 months. And if you continue to have any kind of pain or swelling at the end of the 2 months, continue for month number 3. Now, for all of my smokers, I want you to swish on and keep cold for 4 months minimum, and continue on for month number 5 if you still have any pain or swelling at the end of it. And you're only dairy product free for 5 days, okay? Now, if you have a tongue piercing, this is the end of the aftercare video for you. But for everybody else, for all of my lip and cheek and everybody else that's watching this video, well, we've got a little bit more, because you need to also get yourself some good old-fashioned wound wash. Now, once again, brand is unimportant, although this one is very easily found down the first aid aisle of any pharmacy just about anywhere in the country. So we do highly recommend Neomed Wound Wash, and for its ingredients as well, which are USP grade water and USP grade sodium chloride mixed to 9 milligrams and nothing else. These come sterile in the can, and that's what we want you to use, okay? Normally you'll find this one in your piercing shop, label made for the piercing industry, and this one you'll find down the first aid aisle at just about any pharmacy in the country. Now, with that being said, what you'll operate to do with this is first, wash your hands. Then we pop the cap off, squirt a small amount down into the cap, pull out a clean Q-tip, and always remember this end you're touching is dirty because you touched it. It doesn't matter that you washed your hands. You've got one clean end on a Q-tip ever. We're going to soak it up in the saline and then give it a little rotation between the fingers and take it to the outside of the cheek, or your Monroe, or your Labret, or whatever outer lip piercing you have. And you'll just simply remove the crusty, scabby material twice a day, every day, for a minimum of that 2 months. If it continues to crust at the end of 2 months, continue for month number 3. Once again, for my smokers, 4 months, continue with this. And if you're still crusting at the end of 4, continue for 5. All right, guys, I hope this has been helpful to everybody. Peace out. We'll catch you next time.